Good evening. Last time we left the different definitions of token. As I explained to you, for a person who wants to believe in a project, and on the other hand, for an entrepreneur who desires an active participation by those who believe in his project, the normative, doctrinal, legal definition of the token is not so relevant compared to what will actually be the function that will be performed by this tool. For example, it is explained in the doctrinal field that the security token is a tool with which one can obtain active participation in the management of digitally represented assets. But to date, opportunities to acquire security tokens are rare. However, let's see from the point of view of an entrepreneur how he must behave from a legal, contractual, and technical point of view in order to obtain an active participation from non-institutional subjects who want to believe in his project. Preliminarily, he will have to decide to structure his company with an implementation through which a set of data belonging to the production process of a project is transmitted transparently. Therefore, it is necessary to provide the consultant with the possibility of exemplifying this project in the form of a project supported on a blockchain. Certainly, the blockchain, the data that will be included in the blockchain, will have a trading path. It will not be possible to start requesting the influx of money in order to arrive at a definition of a project immediately. There are phases. The first phase is to sign a contract in a form that for Italian law is considered an association in participation. It is a form recognized by many European legal systems and that is also recognized within common law, as both legal systems are based on Roman law. Basically, it is a contract in which an ongoing legal relationship is governed. A contract where a person is asked for a sum of money by virtue of having adhered to a prospectus in which the person who conceived the project has stated the essential characteristics of the purpose to be reached, the so-called white paper, under certain conditions. One condition is the payment of the money. The second is to specify what will happen if the goal is not achieved. What is the guarantee that this person can have in exchange for the money he brings? This collateral is in the form of an agreement to repurchase the token to be issued in the future, or in the form of a representation of a collateral. It could also be capital within the company. In this preliminary phase, the relationship of trust between the adherent, the participant, the one in my opinion incorrectly is defined as an investor, counts a lot. Let's not forget that a company cannot collect investors if it does not have the authorization of the institute responsible for the control in the territory where this company operates. But considering that it will operate on the web, and that it will not have to do with qualified investors, all we're doing is giving someone the opportunity to participate in someone else's project. Without using the word investment, participation is requested, and it is no coincidence that we are talking about joint ventures. In the second phase, with the money received, the procedure for which this offer of future tokens is carried out begins. With this second phase, the technicians will insert in a platform visible to the participants all the data that make up the project, the evolution of the project, the data that also make up the accounting of the project. These data are entered in the blockchain, which means that there is transparency between the payment of the money, its use, and above all, the evolutionary phase of a project indicated in the white paper. All stages of the project are made public. Let's make an example and pretend that you have lent your money towards the construction of a building. Try to imagine how nice it would be if every lender could have access to a webcam that films the workers as they fulfill their duties. If they had access to a platform with which they could access the current bank account in which the money of the project participants is pooled, through which the workers' salaries are paid. I showed all the handlings of loads and the building materials. Being in blockchain, you can physically see the day and time in which the materials are moved. This is the real lie detector. Who would not participate in a project where the transparency and certainty of the data exceeds any interpreter being visible? These possibilities do exist, but they exist only when the certainty of a criterion of self-referentiality of the data pre-exists. At the end of the second phase, the tokens are issued for a platform in which, as I represented in my example, the submultiples of a reference value in these tokens have been broken down. These tokens are then alienated, sold in exchange for a sum of money. In this case, the exchange of tokens for money takes place on a platform enabled to do this type of operation. The production procedure of these tokens must be completed, and on a dedicated platform these tokens can be bought by interested parties, who may be different from the first to believe in the project. What's the interesting thing? Those who believe in the future token issuance project are generally incentivized to purchase these digital items due to their value, which could increase over time. Therefore, it is a form of discounts that allows a person who believes in a project to have, if a token is worth €1, with 200 euros, 200 tokens. Because, for example, the issuer has decided that by binding the saleability to 2 years, they can reward those who believed in the project at the beginning. And so the people who bought these tokens to support the project in its startup phase might see their value double within the span of those 2 years. What is the secret of this winning mechanic of a relationship between the project participant and the issuer of the proposal? The trump card is first of all the fact that we are moving in a territory that is not anchored to the geographical relationship between the place, the law, and practical application, because we are moving on the web. The second peculiarity is that the holder of a token can sell the right to that token through a freedom of form. There is no sacramentality that exists, for example, in a transmission of a stock of a listed company. With a click of a button and an exchange of money through electronic channels, the transfer of the right takes place. And this transfer could even take place in exchange for other tokens belonging to another platform, issued by another company, therefore within an ecosystem. From a fiscal point of view, a sort of compensation can be made, and therefore no type of taxation. This does not mean avoidance of taxation. It means the absence of taxation. We will discuss this matter further another time, as the topic is rather complex. For example, the place the company issues this type of financial resources collection instrument is located in is very important. The Italian Revenue Agency has poorly clarified what is meant by token. But what counts in the end, in order to give you precise advice, is the verification of the type of underlying legal relationship. With this, I concluded, and I'll see you in our next study. Thank you.